on his resume. Held music.
Dude, that's part of it. I just can't even. Way to go, Luke.
Good. Everybody finished. Me and my dad were together. We finished about. It was right on 30. It was right at 30.
Whatever he wants.
I saw you come in after we were kind of. Everybody was moving. It was coming. Yeah. It was the first one my dad had ever run. I think he was really got to go.
One other thing, ladies and gentlemen, as you take your stands up, there is a big Tupperware tub for the clothespins, if you would please put them in there.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Professor McNinney and the Symphony Band members for the music you have performed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the inauguration of David L. Chicoine, the 19th president of South Dakota State University. The processional will now begin. Will the faculty marshals, Professor Bonnie Spector, Professor Matthew Hansen, please begin the procession. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of God Bless America by the South Dakota State University Concert Choir, conducted by music professor Stephen Graves with guest soloist Marcia Quinn. Mrs. Quinn from Phoenix, Arizona, is President Chicoine's sister. Please remain standing for the invocation given by Doris Gallego, Associate Professor of Journalism and Mass Communication. Professor Gallego is a member of the Oglala Sioux Indian tribe.
Let us pray. O Heavenly Father, Great Spirit, Creator of the universe, we stand before you with thanksgiving for making this day possible, the installation of David Chicoine as President of South Dakota State University. We ask your blessings on President Chicoine as we begin a new chapter in the history of South Dakota State University. Great Spirit, you have given us directions for the paths to take on our life's journey. We pray you will give President Chicoine direction to lead this university. Great Spirit, in the West, we see your power in the thunderstorms and hear your voice in the thunder. We ask you to give President Chicoine a strong voice to express this university's needs to those in power above him, so that we can provide the best education possible to our students. Great Spirit, we understand your presence in all hardships, like the severe winters that come to us from the north. Yet we know that you show us a new understanding through these hardships. We ask you to bless President Chicoine when hardships come to him and give him guidance when conflicts arise. Great Spirit, when the sun rises in the east, it reminds us that all knowledge and wisdom comes to us from you. We ask that you give knowledge and wisdom to President Chicoine as he establishes priorities and sets the framework for the future of SDSU. Great Spirit, from the south, you send new life to the earth in the spring. We pray that you will give President Chicoine a strong spirit so that new life continues to spring forth at this university. Great Spirit above us, send blessings and realization of your nearness to President Chicoine each day so that he will have courage to guide all of us. Great Spirit, creator of Mother Earth, the gift giver of everything we have, nurture and guide President Chicoine. We pray that his example of a generous spirit will permeate this campus. O Great Spirit, help us to realize that no matter the creed, race, or gender, we are all related. May all of us, faculty, administrators, students, and staff, support President Chicoine as he leads South Dakota State University. May we all dedicate ourselves to oneness of purpose and work to the best of our abilities to support and strengthen one another so that future generations may be equipped not only academically, but also emotionally and spiritually to make SDSU, Brookings, the state of South Dakota, and the world peaceful and harmonious with equal opportunity and justice for all. Amen.
Thank you, Concert Choir, Professor Graves, Mrs. Quinn, Mrs. Gallego. Will the audience please be seated? President Chicoine, Governor Rounds, members of the Board of Regents, distinguished faculty, staff, administration, students, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the inauguration of David L. Chicoine, the 19th President of South Dakota State University. This is a wonderful day in South Dakota. Turned out pretty nice, in spite of all fears. As we observe this inauguration, we do so in the university community and with the people of South Dakota, being thankful that you have joined us for this occasion. This is a special day for the university community, and it's with great pride that they have in their tradition at this wonderful campus as they serve the people of South Dakota. It's with great enthusiasm that they have for their leadership responsibilities of today and with considerable aspirations for the future that lies ahead with new leadership. I would like to take this time to introduce some of our stage guests who will not be introduced during today's activities. As I introduce them, I would invite each to stand so that you may see who they are. Our two honorary marshals today are Professor of Economics Nicole Klein and Professor of Business Law and Economics Patrick Lyons. Professor Klein is President Chicoine's youngest sister, and Professor Lyons was an SDSU classmate of President Chicoine. At this time, let me introduce members of the South Dakota Board of Regents. Dr. James Hansen, Carol Pagonis, Dr. Richard Bellotti, Dean Krogman, and Tony Van Huysen. I would note for the audience that Regent Krogman is wearing the special gown, robe, designated for an SDSU graduate who's a member of the Board of Regents. Also on the stage are Executive Vice President Michael Rieger, Vice President for Student Affairs Marce Ramos, Vice President for Research Kevin Kephart, and Vice President for Information Technology Mike Adeling. At this time, it's a real personal pleasure to introduce a person who is going to be very special to this community as she has become in the short few months that they've been here and will continue to be throughout the presidency of President Chicoine. Let me introduce the new First Lady of South Dakota State University, Marcia Chicoine. Marcia, would you please stand? I would also like to introduce to the audience members of the families of Marcia and David Chicoine. As many of you know, President Chicoine's father served for 18 years in the South Dakota legislature. He and members of David's family and members of Marcia's family have joined us today. Please, would you all rise and let us recognize you. It is now a personal pleasure that I have to introduce to you the governor of the state of South Dakota. Governor Michael Rounds was born in Huron, is a lifelong Pierre resident, but more importantly, he was prepared well for his leadership role in this state, being a graduate of South Dakota State University. He is a governor who has defined a vision for the future of this state, but more importantly, he has constantly used his leadership role to secure the resources that support his vision. When I visit with my colleagues around the nation in higher education and describe for them the partnership in public higher education that we have in South Dakota with our governor and members of the state legislature, South Dakota becomes the envy of those in other states. Thanks, Governor Rounds, for your leadership and your partnership. The governor has been a friend to South Dakota State University. He has honored this campus on many occasions with his visits, and we are extremely pleased that he is here today to deliver inaugural comments. Ladies and gentlemen, a real pleasure to introduce to you the governor of South Dakota, M. Michael Rounds.
Thanks, Dr. Perry. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please sit down. Thank you. Dr. Perry, thank you for the very kind remarks. Look, ladies and gentlemen, South Dakota State University has a marvelous tradition. Truly, you have done, year in and year out, a great job with young people. You provide them with opportunities. Today, as we look at the classroom instruction that goes on here, we know that it is very, very good. But even more than classroom instruction, we are also recognizing the opportunities that young people get when we provide research information for them, when we provide them with a chance to seek out and to learn new things. That research is something that we want to continue to promote along with classroom instruction. And to be honest with you, when I first met Dr. Chicoine and we spoke about it, it was one of the things that struck me was his interest in both classroom instruction and also more opportunities for research, recognizing the importance of both to young people within our state. South Dakota State University is currently participating in 5 of our 6 new research centers, which is part of our 2010 economic development goals within the state of South Dakota. So today I wanted to be here to, first of all, congratulate him and to congratulate you on a job well done. I also wanted to lay out for you what I thought were two challenges, and I will be brief in them. The first challenge that I see for education, for higher education within our state, is to truly make our young people the best as part of a workforce. As many of you have experienced, and as many of you I hope will experience in the future, Jean and I have been blessed with our first grandchild, Ian Rounds. He's now 5 months old. If we continue to provide these young children with an opportunity to become a part of a growing and powerful workforce, then that means they don't have to go someplace else. On a selfish note, it means maybe they can stay close to grandma and grandpa. And I think that's important. The second part, the other challenge for education, is something which is very, very important and that we sometimes forget about. And that is making those dreams come true for young people. That's what an education provides, is part of the tool that's necessary, one of the tools that's necessary if a young person is to achieve their goals. We live in a very special place, in a country in which we have freedoms that have been fought for by others, a place where the freedoms provide us with opportunity to become everything that we possibly can. But one of the tools is a good education for a young person. Between creating for a young person a chance to get in and become a part of the powerful workforce, and also offering them a chance to be everything they can and to meet all of their dreams. Those are the challenges that we have within not only higher education, but in education overall. You know, we have a slogan here at South Dakota State. It says, "You can go anywhere from here," and you can. But it's wonderful when you can also come home. President Chicoine, I think, is a marvelous example of an individual who could go anywhere from here, who did, and who then came home. Dr. Chicoine, President Chicoine, welcome home. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Rounds, for honoring us with your presence today. Representative Stephanie Herseth Sandlin is a South Dakota native who now calls Brookings her home. Prior to her current role in Congress, where she has continuously championed higher education as a gateway of opportunity for students and their family, she is reported to have taught a very good course here at South Dakota State University. Please welcome home Representative Herseth Sandlin.
Well, thank you for that kind introduction, Dr. Perry. It is an honor to be here for this inauguration of the 19th president of South Dakota State University. And it's such a pleasure to be able to help welcome David and Marcia Chicoine home to South Dakota and home to SDSU. And what an exciting day and a proud day for the entire family. You know, a few months ago when I met David and Marcia for the first time, I told them I felt I already knew them through all of the hugs that David's dad, Raleigh, has given me over the years. But as someone who grew up in the northeastern part of South Dakota, but who now calls Brookings home, I can understand why David and Marcia would choose to come back to this wonderful community and to this outstanding university. In the years that have passed since David Chicoine received his undergraduate degree at SDSU, the university has evolved in a number of important ways under the leadership of Presidents Emeritus, some of whom are here with us today. From initiating international programs and establishing the first endowed chair under Dr. Berg, to expanding both the faculty and the physical campus and integrating technology under Dr. Wagner, to enhancing and growing the student body, enhancing graduate study and research opportunities, and transitioning to Division I under Dr. Miller. All that awaits Dr. Chicoine in the years ahead cannot be known, but he arrives at a time here to the university community that's a critical time, when higher education and the role of our colleges and universities are seen as crucial to the future of our state, the future of our region, and the future of our way of life. He arrives during a period of our country's history and that of the world that is truly transformational, posing certain challenges to the vitality of rural America, but more importantly, presenting economic opportunities for rural America, opportunities which must be seized by today's generation of students, students who must be well-informed and well-prepared to do so. The dedicated faculty and administrators at SDSU responsible for that informing and preparing will no doubt benefit from the leadership and vision of David Chicoine. He brings to the position impressive experience in agriculture, business, technology, and administration. He's demonstrated a commitment to research and economic development, including the kind of investment and incentives in smaller entrepreneurial startup businesses that drive our state's economy. But it isn't just South Dakota's economic future that's at stake. It's the economic future of our nation. And under President Chicoine's administration, I'm confident that SDSU and its alumni will play a significant role in strengthening both. President Chicoine, I very much look forward to working with you. Congratulations on your inauguration today.
Thank you, Congresswoman Herseth Sandlin. Senator Tim Johnson, a native of Vermilion, has been a strong advocate for higher education, particularly in his role on the Appropriations Committee in the U.S. Senate. And it has helped us propel this institution into a more contributing role to the economic future of this state. Please welcome today Mr. Eric Nelson, Staff Assistant to Senator Johnson, who will bring greetings for the Senator. Eric is a SDSU graduate.
Good afternoon. Again, my name is Eric Nelson. I'm with Senator Johnson's office out of Sioux Falls, and I am a graduate of SDSU. I have a tremendous amount of respect and admiration for this university, and it's truly an honor and a privilege to be able to stand here today and represent Senator Johnson to welcome President Chicoine to SDSU. To commemorate the occasion, Senator Johnson has sent a letter to commemorate today, and I will read that now. Dear friends, thank you for inviting me to celebrate David and Marcia Chicoine's return to South Dakota State University. I have known the Chicoine family for many years, having served with Raleigh in the South Dakota State Legislature. I am very impressed with their commitment to hard work, service, and education, and I'm confident South Dakota will benefit from this homecoming. President Chicoine's experiences in technology and economic development and his innate understanding of South Dakota will help SDSU continue its successful record of research and development. I've been happy to be a partner in that success, and I realize that strong leadership and innovation is required to identify worthy projects and create lasting partnerships that see these projects through to completion. There are great opportunities for South Dakota in expanded technology, and the students, faculty, and administrators here at SDSU continue to seek out those opportunities. I have every confidence that President Chicoine has the track record and experience to continue that tradition. Welcome home to South Dakota, David and Marcia. We all look forward to the positive changes and innovations that you bring back to SDSU with you. Sincerely, Tim Johnson, United States Senate. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Senator John Thune, a native of Murdo, has made numerous visits to South Dakota State University throughout his career and has worked hard on behalf of the state's land-grant institution. His current seat on the Senate Commerce Committee gives him a role in directing the national basic research agenda, and we look forward to that extended contribution to this campus and this state. Please welcome another SDSU graduate, Andrea Folberg, Deputy Communications Director for Senator Thune, who will bring greetings. Andrea.
It is an honor to be here today. This is my second SDSU inauguration, as I was a student back when Dr. Miller was inaugurated. Senator Thune could not be here today. He has sent a letter to pass along his regards on this momentous occasion, and a portion of this greeting has been entered into the congressional record. Dear friends, thank you for the invitation to join you for this momentous occasion of the inauguration of Dr. David L. Chicoine as the 19th president of South Dakota State University. I appreciate the invitation and regret that my schedule prevents me from personally attending. South Dakota State University has a rich history of strong leadership dating back to the commitment of President George Lilly, who advanced $500 of his own salary to finish 3 rooms in the first building on campus. Today, President Chicoine joins Dr. Berg and Dr. Wagner to become only the 3rd jackrabbit to serve in this role. This very stage is evidence of SDSU's strong national presence, as on a date 80 years ago this week, Sylvan Green and the Lincoln Memorial Library were dedicated by President Calvin Coolidge. The pioneering research completed at SDSU is impacting lives around the world, whether it be through improved agricultural practices, the ethanol in our gas tanks, the microwaves that make our dinner, or the scoreboards at our favorite athletic event. It is said that students come from the Sioux and the Missouri, the Cheyenne and the Jim, and the Black Hills to study at SDSU. Students still come to Brookings from those places, but they also come from points around the globe, and with knowledge and diploma in hand, they impact communities in Brookings, in South Dakota, in neighboring states, and truly around the world. It is said that you can go anywhere from here, and we celebrate that in this case, one student has made the trip full circle. Congratulations and best wishes to you, President Chicoine, on a long and successful tenure at SDSU, and go Jacks. Kindest regards, Senator John Thune.
It's with a great sense of pleasure that I get to introduce next persons representing the South Dakota State Legislature. Members of the state legislature are important to this institution and to the university system, and they have been most supportive throughout the years, and we look forward to that continuing relationship. Let me invite members, current and former members of the legislature who are in the audience today to please stand so we might recognize those persons. I know there are several of you. And let me also ask Lieutenant Governor Dennis Dugard, who presides over the Senate and serves as number 2 in the state administration with Governor Rounds, to stand and let us recognize him as well. Dennis Dugard, Lieutenant Governor. Pleased to introduce 2 leaders of the South Dakota State Legislature who are with us today to offer greetings on behalf of the legislature. I would ask each of them to stand as I introduce both, and then we'll ask them to come to the podium in that order to offer greetings. First, Mr. Tim Raves from Baltic. Tim serves as the Speaker pro tempore in the House of Representatives. Mr. David Knutson from Sioux Falls, who serves as the Senate Majority Leader. I can tell you that these are 2 exceptional leaders of the legislature, and if it is not without quality leadership, we would not be able to do the business of public universities in this state. And so I appreciate both Senator Rave, or Representative Rave, gave him a promotion, or demotion, depending upon your view. Representative Rave and Senator Knutson, these 2 very talented leaders who have been our supporters in the legislature. Please welcome Representative Rave and then Senator Knutson.
Thank you, Dr. Perry. President Chicoine, an honored guest. It is truly an honor for me to bring greetings on behalf of the South Dakota House of Representatives. I know, President Chicoine, that you have a personal connection with the legislature since your father has spent many years serving the citizens of South Dakota in both chambers of the legislature. And I did not have the pleasure of serving with your father because his last term was just prior to my first in the legislature. But I recognize that he must be an extremely wise man because he spent over twice as many years serving in the House as he did in the Senate. Last summer, it was my privilege, truly, to serve as chairman of the committee which did a complete review of the Board of Regents, the whole higher education system in South Dakota. And because Dr. Perry, the regents, and the presidents of the universities prepared so thoroughly for those hearings, I was the one that was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to gain an in-depth understanding of our post-secondary educational system. And I can tell you I am truly excited about the opportunities that lay before us. On a personal note, President Chicoine, I look forward to working together with you as we become a leader in research and knowledge-based economy. Congratulations on your installation as the 19th President of South Dakota State University. Thank you.
President Chicoine, Governor Rounds, distinguished guests and friends, I'm very pleased to bring you greetings and congratulations to the SDSU community from the South Dakota Senate, and I'm sure especially from Senator Orv Schmidt, the senator from Brookings. I've had the opportunity to meet with President Chicoine 2 times to discuss issues, and I've been very impressed with his drive and his intelligence. I feel he is determined to bring SDSU to a new level of academic excellence and to expand the university's role in economic development through increased research. His background is ideal for these 2 tasks. The South Dakota Senate and myself in particular look forward to working with him in these 2, in trying to achieve these 2 tasks. And I think clearly the watchword for today is terse for speakers, so congratulations, President Chicoine.
Thank you, Representative Rave and Senator Knudsen. South Dakota State University is proud of many relationships it holds with the city of Brookings. The city has taken seriously its relationship with the university, as has the university taking seriously its relationship with the community. Mayor Scott Musterman has guided this city for 2 terms and has been a true friend of South Dakota State University. I'm delighted he is here to bring greetings to President Chicoine. Please welcome Mayor Musterman.
Well, several nights ago, I met with a group of young students here, young men actually on campus, and I always enjoy coming to campus and speaking with students. And a well-meaning young man asked me the question. He said, what is it that you can do to improve the relationship between the city and South Dakota State University? And of course, as he was saying that question, I began thinking, and I didn't have an answer for him right away, and I actually paused several seconds, and I looked at him and I said, I can't really think of anything. And then I had to proceed with explaining to him that when I came on as mayor of this city, President Miller set the standard immediately, and it was determined that we're a family. And from that point on, what has been interesting to watch is that the leadership and the collective thought of the citizens of the city of Brookings and the leadership and the collective thought of the staff and faculty and administration of South Dakota State University have really come together and have integrated their mission and their purpose and their dreams and their goals. And that's all about building opportunities for people. And that's what we're here about. Everything rises and falls on leadership. And I want to thank the Board of Regents today, because I haven't had a chance to properly thank them, for the legacy of leadership that they have provided South Dakota State University and this region and this state, because we truly make a difference here. I haven't had an opportunity to work alongside of President Chicoine all this year. We've had our sleeves rolled up and we've dug right in, and so I feel awkward saying welcome to you and Marcia. But anyway, welcome. And we have a lot of work to do, and we're going to get a lot of work done together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Musterman, for those good words. I'd like to welcome several distinguished guests who are going to bring greetings on behalf of the other colleges and universities. As I introduce each of you, would you please stand and then proceed to the lectern in the order in which I introduce you so that you might bring your greetings. First, please welcome the President of the University of Illinois, President Joseph White. He is representing the national premier land grant and public research institutions, and of course is the institution that has served us well by preparing David Chicoine for this assignment. President Richard Wilson of Illinois Wesleyan University represents the national private colleges in this today. President Joe Chapman of North Dakota State University, an institution that is a regional land grant partner in many things that we do at SDSU. President Tim Berry of Mount Marty College, representing the South Dakota private colleges. And President Jim Abbott of the University of South Dakota, representing the South Dakota Regental Universities. President Lionel Bordeaux of Ogalla, or Santa Galesa University in Rosebud, was here to represent, was intended to be here to represent the tribal colleges and universities, but due to health concerns, was not able to join us today. So, President White.
Thank you. David and Marcia are much beloved members of the University of Illinois community, now returned home to be members of and to serve your community. That's why so many of us from the University of Illinois and Champaign-Urbana are here today to celebrate with you. Today I represent the nation's land grant and public research universities. In every speech in the state of Illinois, I tell people that the University of Illinois is the state's most valuable asset in creating a prosperous future for the people of our state. The same is true of SDSU and the state of South Dakota. As you know, David Chicoine earned his doctorate at the University of Illinois. He was a professor, progressed through the ranks, became dean of our College of Agriculture, Consumer, and Environmental Sciences. He then became the U of I's Vice President of Economic Development and Corporate Relations. And a way of summing up his distinguished career is that he has been a student, a scholar, a teacher, an administrator, a manager, and a leader. On behalf of all of us at the University of Illinois, I wish President Chicoine, Marcia, South Dakota State University, and the people of the state of South Dakota a productive and prosperous future together. Thank you.
As president of Illinois Wesleyan University in Bloomington, Illinois, it is a privilege to bring greetings to you on behalf of the independent colleges and universities outside of South Dakota. Given the opportunity that I had to work with President Chicoine for 26 years, it also is a distinct pleasure to share in this experience with him and with his wife, Marcia. One of the strengths of higher education in the United States is that we do not have a monolithic system. We have public and private institutions of all sizes with mission statements that range across the spectrum in terms of emphasis on teaching, research, and service. We also have institutions that rally around Wolverines, Illini, Cardinals, Hawkeyes, Titans, and more importantly for today, Jackrabbits. If one were to select two traditions that are distinctly American, it would be the number of private colleges and land-grant universities scattered across this country. These two traditions complement each other and serve compelling personal, local, state, and national interests. However, those interests are not stagnant, frequently refined, revised, or redirected in response to the needs of the society in which we exist and what we believe are necessary ingredients to preparing students for a full and meaningful life. Leadership is required when change is contemplated. Strong leadership is essential when the pace quickens. South Dakota State University has selected just such a leader to guide its growth and development during what most would agree is one of the most exciting and challenging periods in history. The strategic planning documents developed thus far at South Dakota State University make reference to such critical considerations as demographic trends, affordability, sustainability, globalization, economic development, and diversity. These are complex issues that require a president who is thoughtful, sensitive, analytical, and decisive. I can assure you that David Chicoine has those characteristics, and two more that are very important: a devotion to his work and an engaging personality that will inspire others to join him in efforts to help South Dakota State University achieve its highest ambitions. Congratulations and best wishes to President and Mrs. Chicoine and to the entire South Dakota State University community. Thank you.
I'm honored and delighted to share in the inauguration of President David Chicoine. This is indeed a day of celebration. As president of North Dakota State University, I appreciate our long-standing friendly relationship with South Dakota State University. Our two institutions have much in common. In many ways, we have a shared history, and we have experienced a similar journey. Both of our universities are land-grant institutions with similar philosophies of quality education, excellence in research, and exceptional service to the public. NDSU and SDSU were both established through the Morrill Act of 1862, which gave states a grant of land that could be sold to create an endowment to create colleges to teach such topics as agriculture and the mechanical arts. The Act calls for schools to promote the liberal and practical education of the industrial classes in the several pursuits and the professions in life. Often called the people's colleges, land-grant institutions were seen as meeting many of the needs of settlers, working people directly connected to agriculture. On the Dakota Prairie, two such schools would thrive. SDSU was founded in 1881, NDSU in 1890. Through the ensuing decades, both schools have become leaders in many fields, including agriculture and engineering. We also are each the home of our respective state agricultural experiment stations. And while we go back a long way, our universities do love a little friendly competition. Our talented sports teams always play hard, but they do so with sportsmanship and the utmost respect for each other. The very first football game between our two schools took place in 1903, when our Bison and Jackrabbits football teams take the field on November 17th. It will be the 94th meeting between our schools. Even in athletics, we often work together. We both have made the successful move to NCAA Division I. SDSU has been our valued partner in this very important step for our universities. Our students share the same values and visions for the future. In fact, the NDSU Blue Key Club and the SDSU Student Association jointly support the Dakota Marker, a replica of the quartzite monuments that were placed along the border of the two states back in the 1890s. Our football teams vie for the Dakota Marker, which in many ways is a visual representation of the relationship between NDSU and SDSU. While the Dakota Marker says ND on one side and SD on the other, the trophy is a vivid reminder that we are chiseled from the same rock, that our universities stand together, that we are fellow land-grant institutions. NDSU and SDSU truly are partners, neighbors, and friends. Under the leadership of President Chicoine, SDSU will continue to achieve great things. and I am looking forward to working with you as our universities work for the betterment of our two great states, the region, the nation, and the world. Congratulations, President Chicoine. The best is yet to come.
As Dr. Perry mentioned, I am Tim Berry, and I'm the president of Mount Marty College in Yankton. Today, I am honored to be representing the independent colleges of the state of South Dakota, which include Augustana College, Dakota Wesleyan, Presentation College, the University of Sioux Falls, and Mount Marty. The inauguration of a university president is indeed an auspicious occasion and a time for celebration and commitment. So today, on behalf of the independent colleges of South Dakota and our collective faculty, staff, students, and alumni, I welcome you, Dr. Chicoine, as a valued colleague and leader in higher education in the state of South Dakota. Furthermore, I welcome you home to South Dakota and to your roots. The noted educator Clark Kerr once said, "The major test of a modern American university is how wisely and how quickly it adjusts to new possibilities." Today, South Dakota State University is on the verge of many new and exciting possibilities. It is my pledge in my capacity as president of the South Dakota Foundation of Independent Colleges to assure you of our friendship and strong desire to work with you and South Dakota State University and the state of South Dakota in the creation of an enhancement of higher education and many other new possibilities that await all of us in our future. Dr. Chicoine, may God bless you this day and all days, and thank you very much.
I'm Jim Abbott. I'm president of the University of South Dakota, and I am privileged today to represent the presidents and superintendents of South Dakota's public universities and special schools on this wonderful occasion, the inauguration of our colleague as the 19th president of our sister institution. President Chicoine, I know I speak for each and every one of my fellow presidents when I say that in the few short months we have worked together, we have greatly appreciated your leadership, your expertise, and your cooperative spirit. We look forward to working with you even more closely in the future as we continue our mutual efforts to educate our students, advance research and creative activity, and serve our state, region, and nation. On a personal note, Colette and I have very much enjoyed our friendship and offer our best wishes to you and Marcia for a long and happy tenure as President and First Lady of this great university. Thank you.
Thank each of you for being with us today. It's a pleasure now to present the South Dakota State University Concert Choir, led by Professor Stephen Greaves, to sing a jubilant song.
Jubilant song. sings of imagination, a song that sings of harmony and peace, a song that plays like lightning across the darkened sky, a song that tells of courage, of life that marches on, a song that's full of power, awaking human hearts, a song that speaks of loving for people everywhere. Oh, hear our song, our jubilant song, filled with laughter, dancing and joy, a song that sings of imagination, a song that sings of harmony and peace. Oh, clap our song, oh, clap our jubilant song, oh, dance to our song, oh, dance to our jubilant song, oh, hear our song, oh, hear our jubilant song. Oh, sing our song, our jubilant song.
Thank you, Professor Greaves and members of the concert choir. We're pleased to have several people here this afternoon to bring greetings from the South Dakota State University community. I would like to introduce each of those to you and ask them to stand as I introduce them, and then invite them to proceed to the podium in that order at the conclusion of the introductions. The retired faculty and administration are very loyal supporters of this university and often seen at university events. Here to bring greetings from the retired group is retired Distinguished Professor Harold Bailey, Emeritus Vice President for Academic Affairs, who served under the Briggs, Burke, Hoops, and Wagner administrations. South Dakota State University is proud of its outstanding administration, faculty, and professional staff. Bringing greetings from the SDSU administration is Provost Carol Peterson, who has served this university as an administrator for 30 years. The university thrives because of faculty members like Professor Madeline Andros from Electrical Engineering. In addition to her teaching and other responsibilities, Professor Andros is currently serving the university as the president of the University Academic Senate. The university could not function without the over 700 career service personnel who do a variety of support functions on behalf of all of those in the university community. Here to bring greetings from that group is Miss Mary Kidweiler, chairperson of the Career Service Advisory Council. Obviously, a core function of the university is to provide quality educational opportunities to students. We are proud of the South Dakota State University students, and here to represent them today, Mr. Alex Brown, a senior in the College of Arts and Sciences, who serves currently as the president of the Student Association. I'm also pleased to introduce the current president of the South Dakota State University Alumni Association, Ms. Peggy Bechtel. Ms. Bechtel is a fine example of our alumni, holding a bachelor's degree in communication studies and theater from this institution. And last, I am pleased to introduce the current vice chairman of the governing board of the South Dakota State Foundation, Mr. Jake Kroll. Mr. Kroll is a graduate of the economics department at South Dakota State University. Let us begin with Vice President Emeritus Bailey.
President Chicoine, Governor Rounds, honored guests, and delegates. I witnessed this university's movement from South Dakota State College to the great South Dakota State University that it is at present. And I have had the privilege of serving under multiple presidents. However, now it is my special honor, on behalf of the retired faculty and administrators, to welcome you, President Chicoine, our 19th president of this great university, and I congratulate you sincerely on this historic event.
Good afternoon, President Chicoine, Governor Rounds, Representative Herseth Sandlin, Mr. Nelson, Ms. Fauberg, members of the Board of Regents, faculty, and other honored guests and delegates. The SDSU administration is delighted with the fine leadership you bring, President Chicoine. We have welcomed your leadership in strategic planning. We are also excited about your agenda to enhance SDSU's service to the state through teaching, excellence in research, and economic development. We wish you the very best in the years to come.
Good afternoon, President Chicoine and honored guests. I bring you greetings on behalf of the Academic Senate and the entire faculty at South Dakota State University. We welcome you and appreciate the honor that you bring to this historic event.
Good afternoon, President Chicoine and all distinguished guests. It's an honor for me as chairperson of the SDSU Career Service Advisory Council to bring you greetings from the approximately 725 career service employees here at South Dakota State University. We appreciate this opportunity to welcome you to SDSU and to Brookings, and we look forward to working with you to make SDSU the very best place in which to work.
On behalf of the students of South Dakota State University, welcome. This marks a very big day for the students and the entire university community. I would like to thank you for the help, guidance, and advice you have given me over these last few months. The Students Association has enjoyed a great working relationship with you, and we look forward to continuing this in the future. President Chicoine, the students of this university are also excited about what lies ahead. Best wishes on a long and successful tenure as president of South Dakota State University.
Good afternoon. It's both a pleasure and an honor to be here representing the more than 68,000 alumni of South Dakota State University. On this special occasion, the inauguration of the 19th president of our university. From the time that President Chicoine arrived on our campus last January, it soon became evident to alumni across the state and the nation that we have been blessed with a very knowledgeable and capable leader, a leader with a clear understanding of the mission of a land-grant university and a vision for our future. Congratulations and welcome, Dr. Chicoine.
Governor Rounds, President Chicoine, it's an honor for me to be here today representing South Dakota State University Foundation. The foundation serves as a vital support role for the university. Our linkages with President Chicoine are frequent and productive. We look forward to the coming years, his coming years as the 19th president of SDSU.
Thanks to each of you for your greetings. We're privileged today to have the President and Vice President of the South Dakota Board of Regents to conduct the investiture of President Chicoine into his new role. Having served this state in many roles, Harvey Jewett is now serving his 9th year as President of the Board of Regents. This is truly an extraordinary service and personal commitment to public higher education in this state. He will conduct the investiture with the assistance of Regent Terry Balloon, who serves currently as the Vice President of the Board of Regents. Regent Jewett.
Thank you, Ted. I am not going to wear my hat because, one, it won't stay on. But frankly, more importantly, as we were lined up, both Governor Rounds and Representative Herseth Sandlin suggested that if I was going to continue to wear that hat, I needed a new barber. And that was just before Dr. Miller started with fat jokes about the robe. So, without the hat, I'll continue here. We gather here today to formally install President Chicoine as president of this wonderful institution. And I do want to take a second to give you the context in which President Chicoine was selected. The procedure is that the campus and the community are frankly in control of the process up until the time of the selection from the finalists selected by the committee. There were 4 regents. There were 10 others, so it was a group of 16 people who screened over 80 wonderful applicants. There was only a couple from the prison, which you get every time, But there were representatives from the students and the faculty, deans, career service, alumni, foundation, the community as a whole. It was a very significant commitment of time. And then the finalists visit campus and meet with all of the groups and all of the students. And our selection was clear, and we're very proud to have secured Dr. Chicoine's return to South Dakota. A president of a university is just a unique job, I think. There's nothing really quite like it in the country. It presents the opportunity to make a permanent, positive impact on the state and the region, the university, the faculty, and most important, thousands and thousands and thousands of students. The impact of this institution, which Dr. Chicoine will lead into the 21st century and the second decade of that, is an immense responsibility. And we're very confident and look forward in a very serious way to working with him in that regard. We're privileged today, while we install Dr. Chicoine, to have 2 former presidents with us, and I wonder if they might join us up here. Dr. Sherwood Berg was president of this institution from 1975 to 1984, and Dr. Peggy Gordon Miller from 1998 to 2006. So I wonder if you folks would just come up while we do this. I wonder if I shouldn't forget the president here, actually. I wonder if Dr. Chicoine would join us as well. We don't rehearse this much. This is a great privilege. It's one of those unique times in service on the regions where it's just fun to do this and it's rewarding to do this. And we expect Dr. Chicoine's leadership to take us into this next decade and to build upon the enormous accomplishments and the proud history and traditions of this wonderful institution, to lead it to an even more successful, more dynamic, and higher profile institution than it is today. So now, by virtue of the authority invested in me by the Board of Regents in the state of South Dakota, we do formally install Dr. Chicoine as the president of this institution. The mission of this institution at its core is the same as it's been since its founding. It's rigor and excellence in its land-grant mission of teaching, research, and extension. And we know Dr. Chicoine will be an enormous success at that. I'd ask Regent Terry Balloon to come forward and put the great seal of the institution on Dr. Chicoine's shoulders as a representation of his authority over this institution. On behalf of the Board of Regents, I assure you of the Regents' confidence in you, and I assure you of our support as you go forward in this wonderful institution. I now present to the assembled people here at South Dakota State University in the state of South Dakota, the 19th president of this institution, Dr. David Chicoine.
Thank you so much. Governor Rounds, Representative Sandlin, President Jewett, members of the Board of Regents, Dr. Perry, distinguished legislators, Mr. Mayor, colleagues and honored guests, good afternoon. I'm truly appreciative so many could join us here this afternoon. I ask that you join me and dedicate today to those young men and women from South Dakota, many of whom have close ties with this university, who are giving unselfishly to their country through service in the military. Many have made the ultimate sacrifice. It really is an honor and a distinct privilege to serve as the 19th president of South Dakota State University, our alma mater. I am humbled by the confidence and trust placed in me and my wife, Marcia, to lead South Dakota's land-grant research university at one of the most exciting points in its long and accomplished history. There are high aspirations for SDSU. We have high aspirations for SDSU. We're truly excited for the opportunity. Never in my wildest fantasies about what was to come did I fathom that service as president of my alma mater would be part of my professional journey when I left Elk Point to enroll as a freshman at this institution. I want to recognize the dedication and hard work of the members of the Presidential Search Committee chaired by Regent Terry Balloon, which culminated in me being selected to serve. I wish to extend a very special welcome today to the faculty, staff, and students of South Dakota State, and to my colleagues in administration, and thank you for coming. I extend a special welcome as well to the leadership of the SDSU Alumni Association and the SDSU Foundation. Your support, your leadership are important in realizing the aspirations for this great university. I'm pleased today, very pleased, to share this day with South Dakota State's 16th President, Sherwood Berg, and 18th President, Peggy Gordon Miller. I salute both of you for your commitment to excellence, your understanding of the possible, and your dedicated, untiring leadership. South Dakota and this university are better because of you. It is frequently said, and is certainly always true, that achievements and milestones are the work of many hands. This is certainly the case for us. Marcia and I have been blessed to have the support and counsel of family, of many, many friends, and of colleagues over our lifetime. Many were able to join us here today, with a large number from Illinois, for which we are very, very grateful. I have been professionally really very fortunate. I had the good fortune to have the support of, to work with, and to learn from 3 presidents of one of the premier public land-grant universities in the world, the University of Illinois. President Stan Eikenberry, President Jim Stuckel, and President Joe White. I learned from these outstanding university presidents through observation, through hard work, through hands-on tutoring, and also a little hand-to-hand combat. I know my words, I know my views, and I know my approach to university leadership bear their stamp. For that, I am very, very grateful. Marcia and I very much appreciate President White and Mary White taking time from their busy schedules to join us here today. I need also to acknowledge and thank my long-term colleague and friend, and now president of Illinois Wesleyan University, Dick Wilson, with whom I worked in many capacities at Illinois before he began his presidency, for the support that he and his wife, Pat, and their family provided Marcia, me, and our family over so many years. Dick and Pat, we are so thankful for you being here and being part of today's festivities. Lastly, I want to salute my new colleagues, the presidents of South Dakota's other 5 public universities. They have made us feel very welcome. But in particular, I want to recognize our new friends, USD President Jim Abbott and his wife Colette, who've made our return to South Dakota special. Thank you for your kind comments today, Mr. President. Now, not known to most of you, but President Abbott has asked that I help him write one of the chapters in his memoirs as president of the University of South Dakota. The working title for that chapter is, "You Too Can Go Division I." Now, we've not found a publisher for the memoirs yet, but Mr. President, I'm sure we will. Sure we will. Now, my 7 brothers and sisters and I had the very good fortune to have parents committed to the education of their children as the gateway to opportunity. South Dakota State recognized this commitment and their support by naming our family the SDSU Family of the Year in 1987. I'm really honored to have my father, Roland Chicoine, better known as Raleigh in those legislative circuits he traveled for 18 years, here today. This makes today very, very special. I know my mother and Marcia's parents would have thoroughly enjoyed this occasion and know they are here with us in spirit. It's always a treat when my brothers and sisters, all of whom came to state, and our families gather. All 7 of them are here today. It was my really good fortune to meet Marcia Algie, a Volga native, when we were sophomores here at State. Marcia and I were in the same English Lit class that met behind me there in the then Lincoln Library. If I recall correctly, that was one of the classes that I hardly ever skipped, but my good attendance had little or nothing to do with my eagerness to master English literature. I thank Marcia for her unwavering support, her devotion, her spirited guidance for 38 years. She is a true partner in our new venture. Our son Josh, daughter-in-law Laura, and granddaughter Sylvia are here as well, and I thank them for their support. Jason, our oldest son, who was born here in Brookings, is with us in spirit and always in our thoughts. I'd like to recognize the many members of Marcia's family, especially 2 of her 3 sisters, who also are state grads, Mary Thompson and Jan Olson, and their families, and thank them for their unquestioning support. Lastly, I want to acknowledge the fine work of the many people who helped plan and carry out the investiture, especially the Office of University Relations, directed by Jennifer Crickard, the office or the leadership of the SDSU Foundation and the SDSU Alumni Association, and the Office of the Provost underneath the leadership of Provost Carol Peterson. Now, in planning for this occasion, several campus sites were considered. But Sylvan Theater, because it is such a special place, won out, even though we had to gamble a little with the weather. But you know, that gamble paid off reasonably well, reasonably well. We have a very crisp fall afternoon here on the Great Plains. This corner of campus is one of the university's most celebrated and most popular places. Where we are is where others before us came together to share their faith in and allegiance to South Dakota's land-grant university and to dream their dreams. In Sylvan Theater, dedicated by President and Mrs. Calvin Coolidge in 1927, we are surrounded by history, by symbols of the importance of this university to South Dakota and its people. Sylvan Theater has hosted graduations, concerts, and plays, dances, pep rallies and hobo days, picnics, lectures and movies, and yes, a student protest or two. There have been weddings of alums and friends of alums, and there have been weddings of children of alums and children of friends right here in Sylvan Theater. And at 5 o'clock today, Sylvan Theater will be the place for yet another wedding. So once we're done here, please don't linger, or you may become a part of that ceremony. Now, behind you and towering above us is perhaps the most famous of the campus buildings and recognized across this state and this region as a symbol of this university. Made possible by the generosity of a Carthage farm boy and 1909 engineering alum, Charles Coughlin, the Campanile has generated a continuous gravitational pull to alumni and friends everywhere since its completion in 1929. Today, we continue to experience this pull as a symbol of vision, thoughtfulness, eager, hard work, and an unwavering belief in the importance of this university in creating a prosperous future for South Dakota and its people. You know, universities really are very privileged institutions. Public universities have close relationships with the state and the federal government, but we are not part of government itself, as is a Department of Labor or a Department of Commerce. We enjoy much cherished grant of autonomy from those who support us and fund us from the people we serve. This autonomy includes the relative absence of political intervention, the relative absence of interference in operations, and of interference in what to teach and what to research. It includes relatively significant freedom to operate, allowing us to create real value for those we serve and who grant us that autonomy. With that grant of autonomy, though, comes enormous responsibilities. Responsibilities to teach and foster learning of the highest level, to transition people's lives, and to open the door of opportunity to generations upon generations of students, and to hold sacred the integrity of inquiry and the relentless pursuit of new knowledge, driven not just by curiosity of the unknown, driven not just by the passion to explain and understand, but driven as well by the commitment to create new know-how, new technologies, new insights to solve really hard, complex problems, to address grand challenges of today and tomorrow, and to create new economic opportunities, new wealth, and improve the well-being of people and their communities. The autonomy granted universities is uniquely, very uniquely American. It's frequently copied but seldom duplicated around the world. Those studying this unique American institution have pointed to research universities as being a major ingredient of the secret sauce of America's historical competitive advantage and global successes. But to build on our historical achievements and to reach even higher levels of accomplishment in a very competitive global economy of today and tomorrow, research universities must become much more nimble, much more innovative, much more market savvy, and very quicker to respond to opportunities and to confront challenges. This requires ever-increasing freedom to operate, less regulation, but importantly, higher levels of real accountability. The international magazine, The Economist, did a feature not long ago on higher education around the world. One of the lead articles is titled Secrets of Success. And that article has the following byline, and I quote, "America's system of higher education is the best in the world. That is because there is no system." End of quote. 35 of the top 50 universities in the world listed in that article are American universities. The article suggests that there are three principles that account for this success. The first principle is a limited role of federal and state government. There is no central plan for U.S. universities. Limited government, however, does not mean indifferent government. Public universities benefit from state funding. The federal government provides need-based student aid, and federal science agencies spend billions of dollars each year on science and research at universities. The second principle is competition. Universities compete for everything: students, professors, star student athletes, attention of donors, attention of politicians, government funding, corporate partners, federal research grants, and the attention of media. Often, the highest level of success comes from the fiercest competitors who collaborate as they collectively pursue enlightened institutional self-interests. There just has to be the opportunity to fail, balanced against the potential gain from success. The third and final principle is that it is all right. In fact, it is expected that universities be useful. America has always regarded universities as more than ivory towers and pioneered the art of forging links between academia and commerce and industry. Land-grant research universities are the lead example. Another article in that issue of The Economist that is titled "The Brains Business" concludes, and I quote, "Universities are among the most important engines of the knowledge economy. Not only do they produce the brain workers who man it, but they also provide much of its backbone and fuel, from laboratories to libraries to computer networks to innovations and know-how to new technologies that create new industries, jobs, and economic growth." Now, soon after Joe White arrived at the University of Illinois as the new president a couple of years ago, he stated, "High-achieving organizations require three important things. They require aspiration, intent, and plans. They require leadership and resources, and they require accountability, the measurement of performance and its reporting." And Joe, you thought I was never paying attention at staff meetings. We have aspirations and intent at South Dakota State. This fall we'll have a plan. Our plan will help assure a bright future for South Dakota State University. It will guide us. It will guide us as we work to build a better South Dakota. The plan will create the tapestry that depicts a common future, a sense of common purpose and shared understanding. It will give focus to challenges, uncover opportunities, stimulate creativity, and be a basis for communications and that all-important accountability. The plan will guide us to secure an adequate, balanced financial portfolio to achieve high aspirations for South Dakota State. Specifically, I expect the plan will create conditions that really matter. It will leverage the strength of this institution for excellence in undergraduate, graduate, and professional education, and have state always thought of as a good place for college. I expect the plan will build aggressively on our promise in discovery research, in the sciences, in engineering, in information technology, in agricultural and health sciences, to drive innovation, to drive science and technology-based economic development. I expect the plan will give us direction to realize our emerging focus in the humanities and the social sciences, in management sciences and entrepreneurial studies, in design and artistic activities, and importantly, the performing arts that lift the human spirit, create interesting and vibrant communities, and improve our quality of life. I expect the plan will leverage our really deep understanding of outreach and service to problem solve for people, for companies, and for communities to put knowledge to work. And the plan will build on the potential successes of Division I athletics that give our student athletes the chance to compete and achieve at the highest level in the classroom and in sport. We move forward, though, with the full understanding of the change in public higher education finance in this state and across the country. Sources of support for South Dakota State need to continue to be more diverse. Public support will continue to be really important, and I know the state and the people of South Dakota, through the taxes they pay, will do what they can when they can. Going forward, though, will require that more reliance be placed on tuition and fees while assuring access to those from low and moderate incomes. On the competitiveness of faculty, for grants from corporations and the government, especially to fund research, on our work as administrators to assure our costs are minimized and there is a continuous reallocation away from low priority, low demand programs and activities towards high priority, high demand programs and activities. And on the ever increasing generosity of donors and importantly, investments from sponsors. Together we can make that which seems impossible possible. When our work here at South Dakota State is done, my hope is that you might look back, you might conclude that this university as an institution and as a community continued to thrive. That South Dakota State became distinctly recognized beyond our state and region by what we accomplish, not by what we say. That the university strengthens its local relevance and appreciated in value as an asset that helps create a better South Dakota and ensures a prosperous future for its people. And that the unique privilege that I spoke of earlier of South Dakota State University will be enhanced through hard work, creativity, a passion for excellence, and unquestionable integrity. Together, we can achieve the high aspirations for South Dakota State and build a better South Dakota. Thank you very much.
Let me add my personal congratulations to President Chicoine. You're joining a wonderful system of public universities, and I look forward to a long and productive relationship. We've already started. No ceremony is complete without the magnitude of singing the South Dakota State University alma mater. The yellow and blue, written and composed early in the last century, has been with this institution during victories and consulted a few times during losses. The words can be found on the last page of your program. Please rise as the South Dakota State University Concert Choir sings the yellow and blue.
We come from the Sioux and Missouri, the Cheyenne and the Jim, from pine-clad peaks of the Black Hills, brimful of vigor and vim. We sing the song of the prairie, the home of the yellow and blue, the gleaming gold of the cornfield, the flags of azure hue. Oh, SDSU, hurrah for the yellow and blue. Well, SDSU, will honor to you. Forever raise a song of praise, both loud as loud with loyal hearts, so true, so true. Oh, SDSU, hurrah for the yellow and blue. Well, SDSU, will honor to you. Forever raise a song of praise, both loud as loud with loyal hearts, so true.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the academic recessional, which brings to close this inaugural ceremony. You are invited to attend the reception in the South Dakota Art Museum immediately following the ceremony. We will begin with a stage party recessing.